Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about a single image, an image that carries within it the entire story of where human civilization is heading. We are not just exploring space; we are turning it into infrastructure for Earth. So, as an aeronautical engineer, when I look at this picture, I don't just see satellites and stars. I see propulsion systems, orbital mechanics, communication art, and above all, a vision, right? A human vision. A vision that space is no longer a destination. Okay, so it is becoming a utility, like electricity, like the internet, like roads. And today, I want to walk you through this image piece by piece and show you why this shift matters to every single person on this planet, not just engineers like me. So let's start from the bottom left of the image with a rocket lifting off, engines blazing, breaking free of Earth's gravity, right? So this is the Indian space infrastructure in motion, right? So let's see the picture. You see this? Yes. So this is the image, right? See, let's start from the bottom left of the image with the rocket lifting off, engine blazing, breaking free of Earth's gravity, right? So this single image of fire and thrust represents thousands of hours of aerodynamic testing, structural engineering, propulsion design, and guidance control calculations. So every launch is a battle against gravity, against atmospheric drag, and against the physics of getting a machine to travel at nearly 8 kilometers per second just to stay in orbit. Okay. So, but notice something important here. This is not shown as an isolated achievement, right? It is shown as the foundation of everything else in the image. The rocket is not the end goal, right? It is the doorway. So because once we get hardware into orbit, an entire network begins to come alive above our heads. Right now, look upward to the constellation, a constellation of satellites connected by glowing blue lines across the top of the image. Right, we see satellite internet nodes. Right, inter-satellite laser links and Earth observation satellites and their navigation satellites. So each one specialized piece of hardware doing a specific job, yet all interconnected like neurons in a nervous system. The inter-satellite laser links are particularly fascinating from an engineering standpoint. So instead of every satellite talking only to ground stations, they talk to each other space at the speed of light. So hopping from satellite to satellite until it reaches exactly where it's needed on Earth, right? So this is what allows internet connectivity to reach a ship in the middle of the ocean or phone in a location with zero ground towers. So at the center of this web sits the future human space station, a symbol that humanity's presence in space is not a one-time visit. Okay, it is becoming permanent, a place where humans will live, conduct research, and act as a relay point between Earth and deeper space ambitions. So this is what I mean when I say space is becoming infrastructure. Okay, it is no longer just about reaching space. It's about living there, operating from there, and using it to serve life down here, right? You will see them touching the connected aircraft, right? Flying midway, a connected ship, sailing the ocean, and a small mobile phone glowing with direct to device connectivity. Right. This is the part that should excite every engineer in this room. Okay. So we are entering an era where connectivity does not depend on your location. A pilot flying over open ocean, a sailor beyond the range of any coast, or a person standing in the most remote village. All of them can now connect directly to a satellite. With no towers, no cables, no traditional infrastructure needed. For someone trained in aeronautics, this is the convergence of two worlds we used to treat separately. aviation, and space technology. So now working as one seamless system. Now let's bring our eyes back down to the earth, to the six images okay, along the bottom of the picture. So because this is where the real purpose of all this engineering reveals itself, lit only by a small light, right? Representing connecting remote villages to the world. So accessing a teacher on screen, right? So then education without boundaries. We see a doctor speaking to a patient through a screen. Healthcare everywhere, right? So bringing medical expertise to places that may never have had a hospital nearby. Okay, we see farmers using a tablet in this field, right? Smart agriculture, where satellite data can tell him about soil, weather, and irrigation in real time. So we see a disaster response team with a satellite dish and an ambulance, emergency communication when it matters most, right? So because in a crisis, the first thing that fails is usually communication, and space-based systems can restore that lifeline instantly. So, and finally, we see a remote island, right? So, connecting island and the unreached, places that terrestrial cables can never economically reach, right? So, this to me is the heart of the image. Okay, so all that complex orbital mechanics, all of that satellite engineering, it exists so that a farmer, a sailor, a child in a classroom, or a patient in a remote clinic can have a better life. Okay, so that is the true meaning of infrastructure for Earth. So at the top left of the image, four icons summarize the mission, right? Connecting everywhere, then protecting our planet, see, empowering through AI, improving lives. So these four pillars are not just marketing language. Okay, they represent an engineering philosophy. So connectivity is the foundation actually. Then environmental protection through Earth observation satellites is the responsibility. Okay, so artificial intelligence is the accelerator that makes a sense of the enormous data these systems generate. Okay, so and improving lives is the only justification for why any of this technology should exist at all. Okay. So as I close, I want to bring this back to something personal. Okay. So this image reminds us that no matter how advanced our rockets become, okay, how intelligent our satellites are, stretches into the cosmos, the true purpose of all innovation is always the same: to uplift human beings, right? To connect the disconnected, to educate the unreached, to heal, to protect, and to empower. So, and that is exactly the spirit I want to carry forward today in the name of BUYE-Online. Okay, just as this network of satellites reaches every village, every ship, every classroom, and every remote corner of the earth, right? I wish on behalf of BUYE-Online that knowledge, growth, and opportunity reach every single person here today and beyond. Okay, so may we all keep aspiring beyond our own horizons, right? The way humanity aspires beyond the sky, and may that aspiration always come back down to serve one single purpose: the well-being and happiness of people around us. Right? Thank you. One planet, one network, one future. Hey, happy Independence Day.